The Pod Network Entertainment.
All right, this is an episode that we wanted to do on Now Steaming for a very long time. We're really happy that we get to do this. And then sakto, it is Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year and our season opener. We're really excited to do this. Happy Chinese New Year, by the way. Happy Lunar New Year to all of our listeners and to everyone around the world. Now let's bring in our guest. Very fitting na pag-usapan natin tong season na to of Chinese New Year and the food that comes with it. He is the Vice President of Operations of Eng Bitin, one of the go-to places for tikoy and hopia. Please welcome Jeric Chua. Hi, Jeric.
Hi. Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're so happy na nandito ka. And you're in the signature color of Eng Bitin, which is purple, diba? So
on duty.
On duty.
Still on duty, even when he's doing podcasts.
Oh, unmistakable. Like when he walked into the room, you knew this was the guy.
That's definitely Jeric Chua. Because
right.
we've never met in person, by the way. So I've only reached out to Jeric. So thank you so much, by the way, for taking the time to be here. And nung nakita ko yung purple, sabi ko, that has to be him. That definitely has to be him. So I approached him and said, yeah, welcome to our pod.
So, Jeric, I understand that this is your first time on a podcast, but you've done these TV interviews, these radio interviews in the past about to talk about the business, especially during this time of the year. And then you mentioned din kanina na itong season is the busiest for the company. So, can you give me a little insight on how just busy and wild it gets sa Eng Bitin?
Well, normally sa Eng Bitin, pag Chinese New Year, yung pila namin, especially during the Chinese New Year proper, could last for you to get in and out of the store, siguro mga 2 hours. Ganun.
And we're talking about the smaller stores, not even Great Buddha or Chuan Ki.
Yeah. Yung Chuan Ki naman, kahit paano, sa tulong ninyong lahat, no, na at least everyday naman talaga medyo may pila siya. People tend to go there to try yung mga authentic Chinese foods natin from way, way back.
So I'm a huge fan of Great Buddha. It's actually my go-to spot sa Binondo. And yung Chuan Ki over the last few years, lalo na because of TikTok, diba? People doing those food vlogs and everything really led to the rise of popularity ng Chuan Ki sa generation na to. But let's go all the way back sa pagsimula ng Eng Bitin. This is a company that's 4 generations old, right?
Yeah, we're currently the 4th generation owners. So my brother and my sister together with me are working in the business now. We've started since 1912. So we're currently 113 years na. Pero ang hopia kasi, ang Eng Bitin kasi, kilala kami ngayon for hopia, for tikoy, for Chinese delicacies. But nakilala tayo ngayon for innovation. But before, ang Eng Bitin kilala kami sa pagiging hindi masarap na hopia. Bakit? Kasi yung during na nag-transition from yung lolo ng father ko to my grandfather, medyo hindi kasi mahilig yung grandfather ko dun sa business eh.
Okay.
So, ang Eng Bitin before, wala kami masyadong maraming stores. Yung hopia namin, pinanglalako. Yung mga nakalagay sa garapon, then dinideliver sa ano. So, pag ang hopia kasi malambot, mabilis masira eh. Kasi dati consignment. So, pag binili mo, kung ano lang inabenta mo, yun lang ibabayaran mo. Lahat ng hindi mo nabenta, I will take it back, then give you new ones. So yung lolo ko before, sabi niya, kailangan maging mas matibay yung hopya. So paano niya ginawa yun? Ang ginawa niya, yung hopya, ginawa niyang mas matigas. Tama. Kasi ang hopya, pag matigas, pag dinala mo ngayon, nalubak ka,
hindi maduduro.
Hindi maduduro. Pagdating dun sa tindahan, hopya pa rin siya. Pero yung hopya namin, gano'ng katigas before, pag binato mo sa pader, pagbagsak, hopya pa din.
Parang may drop test, di ba, pag cellphone. Ito pala, may test, fall test.
May fall test. Papato mo muna pagbagsak, hopya pa rin. So, ang nangyari, dahil doon, kumbaga, hindi na nga tayo kilala as number 1 na hopya before, tapos ganyan pa yung nagiging product. So, nag-dwindle talaga lalo yung sales namin. Up to a certain point na nagkaroon ng maraming utang, hindi na alam kung paano babayaran. Doon na pumasok yung father ko, si Mr. Ube, si Jeric Chua. Ang ginawa niya, sabi niya, hindi laging pwedeng ganito. During that time, nag-aaral pa siya eh. So, nung tumulong siya doon sa business, talagang negative. To the point na sa umaga, papasok siya ng school. Paglabas niya, kailangan niya malaman kung magkano yung mga checking na ilabas. Kasi dati sa sobrang daming utang, Dati yung cheque, hindi katulad ngayon na meron sa harap, tapos sa likod, diba?
Yeah.
Yung cheque mismo. Dati, yung cheque parang one side, maliit dito, dito yung kung ano yung inisyo mo, dun sa kabilang side, yun yung actual na nilabas mo. So yung lolo ko, hindi niya na alam kung ano yung nilalabas niya sa dami ng utang. Basta ginagawa niya pang kiting. Parang gano'n, may utang ako sa'yo ngayon. Bayaran ko to bayaran mo muna yung isang utang ko. So hanggang sa naging cycle siya, naging vicious cycle siya, na sabi ng father ko, he had to get out of. Paano niya ginawa yon? So ginawa niya, nag-focus siya dun sa negosyo namin. Una, gusto naman niya yung negosyo.
Yeah.
So, sabi niya, kailangan gumawa tayo, gawin nating sulit itong products natin na to para pagka nabili ng customers, babalik-balikan nila. So, paano niya ginawa yan? Unang-unang ginawa niya, gumawa siya ng hopya na instead of pork lard, normal hopya is pork lard. Diba?
Yeah. Yun yung palaman.
No. Yun yung balat.
Okay, the base. Yeah.
Pork lard, kaya mayabo. Diba? Ginawa niyang corn oil. Healthier version. Hopya munggo na corn oil. Pero hindi nag-click. No? So, hindi pa rin nag-click. Hanggang sa isang araw, umabot na sa point na wala silang pambayad ng tao. So, sa umaga siya yung bibili ng ingredients. Gagawin niyang hopya. Pagkatapos niya gawing hopya, babalot bebenta. Every day after niya gawin yun, pupunta siya dun sa isang supermarket na malapit sa amin. Anong ginagawa niya dun? Araw-araw andun siya. Araw-araw wala siyang binibili. It came to a point na meron na sumusunod sa kanyang security guard. Naka-plain clothes. Bakit? Kasi akala shoplifter. Biruin mo, araw-araw pumupunta rito, wala naman siyang binibili. Diba? Yun nga. So, yung father ko before nakilala siya sa Binondo for two things. Hindi siya kilala dahil Mr. Ube, hindi siya kilala dahil nagbebenta kami ng hopya or dahil sa NBT. Kilala siya for two things. Unang-una yung pagiging shoplifter. Pangalawa is yung pagiging siraulo. Bakit siraulo? Ang advocacy namin ng family namin is fire volunteerism.
Right, yes.
Yes.
That's why you have the purple fire trucks sa
We have the
Binondo.
purple fire trucks, and currently the Philippines' largest volunteer firefighting organization, tayo yung nagtayo, which is Text Fire Philippines. During that time, fire volunteer na siya. Ang tawag sa kanya ng mga siraulo before, ng mga, sorry, ang tawag sa kanya ng mga tao sa Binondo before is siraulo. Bakit? Sabi niya, ito si Jerry siraulo. No? Wala na nga bumibili sa tindahan nila. Pero instead na nagbabantay ng tindahan, nagta-traffic sa kalsada. Bakit siya nagta-traffic ng kalsada?
Kasi may sunog.
Kasi may sunog. Kailangan makalabas ng bumbero, ng truck ng bumbero. Sa kanya naman, outlet niya yun eh. Kumbaga, pag sumakay siya ng fire truck, pag nagbubumbero siya, hindi niya maiisip yung problema niya dun sa negosyo. Diba?
Very unusual.
No.
Yeah.
So, yun yung pinaka-outlet niya. Well, ang nangyari naman dun, sa amin, importante yung, lagi namin sinasabi, you always have to do good deeds. So, one day, yun nga, yung product natin, hindi pa rin nagustuhan ng mga tao eh. So, wala pa rin bumibili. Came to a point na, yun nga, naging suspect siya na shoplifter. Pumunta siya ngayon ulit ng supermarket. At that time, medyo wala siya sa medyo bad trip siya, ganun. So, may sumusunod sa kanya na security guard. Normally, pag pumupunta ka ng supermarket, alam niyo ba saan yung pinakamalamig na place sa supermarket?
Sa Frozen.
Sa Frozen, di ba? Sa mga nagbebenta ng ice cream.
Yeah.
So, ang ginawa niya, pumunta siya doon sa nagbebenta ng ice cream. Sabi niya, Miss, ano ba yung pinakamabentang ice cream dito? Sagot sa kanya, ube. Sabi pa niya doon sa security guard, narinig mo kuya, ube daw. Ube. Then, may narinig siyang voice. Hopyang ube. So, during that time, sa wakas may binili siya. Bumili siya ng 6 na jar ng ube halaya. Inuwi niya, ginawa niyang hopya. During that time, konti lang kaibigan niya eh. Lagi niya sinasabi, pagka may financial problem ka, pag may problema ka, doon mo lang makikita talaga kung sino yung totoong kaibigan.
Yeah.
Kasi kahit family nawawala eh.
Yeah.
Diba? Hindi mo naman sila masisisi. Siyempre, nahihiya naman sila na pag lumapit ka sa kanila, tapos uutang ka eh, mahihindian ka. Diba? So, iba umiiwas.
Right.
So, hanggang sa, yun nga, ilan lang yung friends niya, which is mga bumbero din. No? Ang ginawa niya ngayon, ginawa niya hopyang ube, ilan lang yun, pinatikim niya doon sa mga kaibigan niya. Tinanong niya, masarap ba? Lahat nagsabi masarap. Sumunod na tanong, bibili ka ba? Lahat nagsabi sa kanya, hindi.
Kasi wala rin pera kasi bumbero.
Hindi. Bakit hindi? Kasi during that time, there was around mga mga late 80s, hindi pa adventurous yung tao eh. Pagdating sa pagkain, hindi katulad ngayon. Uy, may bagong restaurant, try natin.
Yeah.
Diba?
When they see it on TikTok, sige, try natin.
May
Ganon.
bagong food try natin. Dati hindi eh.
Yeah.
Dati ang concept is kung ano yung tried and tested. So, even with the brands, kung ano lang yung alam nila, yun yung laging pinupuntahan. So, eto na, sabi niya, bakit hindi ka bibili? Kala ko ba masarap? Sabi niya, unang-una kasi libre, kaya masarap.
O nga naman.
Pangalawa, sabi niya, kasi wala namang, there's no such thing as hopya ube.
Okay.
Kasi during that time, pag sinabi mong hopya, there's only 2 flavors.
Munggo.
Munggo and baboy.
And baboy.
Diba?
Yes.
So, pag hindi munggo, hindi baboy, hindi yan hopya. Parang ganun yung concept. But then he still believed in the product. Actually, siya yung nagpagawa ng unang neon sign dun sa tindahan namin na nakalagay na special hopya ube available here. Actually,
yes. I can imagine that sign now.
Yeah, pinarecreate ko ngayon yun. Ginawa na namin LED. Pero nandun pa rin yung kung nasan yung original location niya sa Binondo. Sabi niya, so yun na nga, hindi pa rin nag-take off. Until one day, yung si Miss Cory Quirino of ABS-CBN, Channel 2 before, gusto niya mag-feature ng Chinatown. So, 4 things. One is Chinese doctor, Chinese temple, Chinese drugstore, tsaka ano isa?
Chinese food.
Chinese food.
No.
Hopya.
Chinese fire volunteer.
Kasi
Kasi ang Chinese fire volunteerism nagsimula, ang fire volunteerism mismo sa Pilipinas nag-start sa Binondo. And siya yung napili na interviewin for as Chinese fire volunteer.
Right.
So nung napili na siya doon, tinulungan niya matapos yung ibang interview kasi during that time hindi naman ayaw pa ng mga tao magpa-interview eh. Hindi
Lalo
pa
na
uso.
pag Chinese, di ba? It's very reserved, very shy.
Parang for example, tinulungan niya pumunta dun sa Chinese drugstore. Noong unang panahon, di naman pasok yung mga drugs ng Chinese sa FDA. Sa BFAD pa noon, di ba? So natatakot sila magpa-interview.
Of course.
Ganon din naman yung Chinese doctor. Ang Chinese doctor, wala namang lisensya dito eh.
Yes.
Diba? So, tapos yung isa yung Chinese temple, parang feeling naman nila, parang hindi raw, kumbaga medyo hindi maganda na pinapakita mo yung temple, gano'n. So, to make the long story short, tinulungan niya i-convince yung mga yun na, pa-interview kayo, tulungan natin si Miss Cory Quirino, and then, that will be good for you and your businesses. During that time, mga negosyo yung mga yun eh. Except in temple wala. Pero siya kasi fire volunteer nung time na yun. So, yan, tinulungan niya. Natapos yung interview. Nung pauwi na, sabi ni Miss Cory, Jerry, taga-saan ka ba? Kasi sumakay siya ng fire truck eh.
Yeah.
Taga-saan ka ba? Sabi niya, ma'am, dyan po ako dyan sa NBT. Dun nga meron na kaming yung neon signage. Sabi niya, ano yung hopya ube na yan? Kasi wala namang hopya ube. Sabi niya, ma'am, ano po yan? Hopya ube, gawa ko po yan. Tapos niyaya pa ni Papa before si Ma'am Cory na, Ma'am Cory, bago kayo umuwi, gabi na eh.
Yeah.
Magdi-dinner na. Dinner muna tayo. Sabi ni Miss Cory, hindi na, nagmamadali ako eh. Sa loob-loob ng father ko nung time yun, tuwan-tuwa siya. Kasi wala rin siya yung pambabayad eh.
So out of politeness na talaga
nagaya siya.
Niyaya niya yun dun sa Chunky. Hindi pa atin yung Chunky before. So, sabi niya, buti na lang hindi natuloy. So, after a few days, tumawag yung producer ni Miss Cory. Tinatanong ko napanood yung episode. Sabi ni Papa, hindi ko napanood eh. Kasi, yun nga, in-explain niya, morning, kailangan siya yung gumagawa bumibili ng product, ng ingredients to make the products. So, normally, pag gabi, kailangan niya matulog ng maaga. So, hindi niya na inabutan kasi dati ang city line is late night.
Yeah.
So, ayun. Sabi niya, may promise to si Ma'am Cory sa'yo. Wala sa father ko, wala yun. Hindi niya alam na nagsabi pala si Miss Cory na babalik siya to do a feature on yung Hopya naman, yung NBT. So, ayan, to make the long story short again, dumating si Ma'am Cory. Kasama yung tinanong si Papa, Jerry, paano ba kayo gumagawa ng kopya? May mga machines ba kayo? During that time, wala eh. Wala nga tayo pambayad ng tauhan eh. So, sabi niya, wala ma'am, kamay-kamay lang. So, ginawa sabi niya, paano, ma'am, ano ba tanong ninyo? Sabi niya, Jerry, basta tayo ka lang dyan, ako bahala, tayo ka lang dyan. Sabi ni Miss Cory, kinuha niya yung hopya monggo. Nakabalot pa yung dati. Ako familiar kayo dun sa hopya na nakabalot.
Yes, of course.
Okay,
Of course,
yes, you know.
So sabi, binuksan niya. Ito ang hopyang monggo. Pagbalik ko, may bago ako. Cut! Yeah, kumuha ng hopyang ube. Siya kasi yung parang pinaka-director din niya. Ayun, ito ang hopyang ube. Gawa ni Mr. Jerry Chua. Binuksan, tak, kinain. Tapos sabi niya, wow, sarap. Mr. Jerry Chua, saan ba mabibili itong hopya ng Engbitin? Si Papa, first time ma-interview ngayon as a hopya maker. So, talagang hindi niya raw alam kung anong gagawin niya. So, nakatayo lang siya ron para raw siyang robot. Sabi niya, sa 628 Ong Pin sa tapat ng Binondo Church. Yun lang yung sinabi niya sa buong interview.
Pero at least nailabas niya yung address, di ba?
Oo, nailabas niya yung address. Then from there on, dahan-dahan na-feature yung hopya ube, nagkaroon ng awareness. So, doon nagsimula.
That's an incredible story now that you just recounted generations of
Yes.
Engbitin.
I was
diba?
gonna say like, grabe, na-memorize mo by heart yung story. I'm pretty sure like sobrang laki talaga nung impact na yun. That one interview that changed.
And kaya nga,
Engbitin.
actually tomorrow kasama ko si Ma'am Cory.
Wow!
Oh! Full circle moment.
Punta siya sa Engbitin.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So, go feature or bibisita lang?
Mag-feature daw siya.
Wow!
So, sabi,
Decades after that first interaction,
well,
no?
she comes by from time to time. Pero, so, kumbaga, every few years, pupunta talaga yan, mag-visit. Ang tawag namin sa kanya, angel namin, di ba?
I'm sure, yeah.
Ayun, kung hindi nga, pero kung isipin mo, anong reason kung bakit lagi namin sinasabi, ang family motto namin is to do good deeds. Kasi nung time na wala naman kami, di ba, yung father ko, bumbero. Kung hindi siya bumbero at hindi siya na-feature at that time na naging volunteer firefighter, malamang hindi siya ma-feature as a hopya maker. So, hindi ma-feature ang Engbitin. Malamang walang Engbitin ngayon. So, lagi namin sinasabi, you always have to do good deeds.
Right.
Yeah.
Yung pangalan ng Engbitin, it's now synonymous with Chinese delicacies, also synonymous with this time of the year, Chinese New Year. But what is the story behind the name?
Well, Engbitin is 3 Chinese words. Hindi yan apelyido.
Yeah, hindi siya pangalan, yeah.
Eng is yong, di ba? Yong is forever. B is May, beautiful. And tin is precious. Parang kayo, forever and beautiful, precious sa amin.
Wow. So today I learned. So I actually looked
same.
for Engbitin on Wikipedia. It doesn't explain yung origin ng name.
Baguhin natin.
Pwede natin i-edit. Actually, I'm curious kasi since we also have like, my family has a family business. Tapos meron din silang parang ganon, 3 letters. So I'm wondering if it's the same thing for Engbitin. Ganon rin ba? Nakahang sa taas?
Yes, we do. We still
okay.
have yung pinaka-original, tinago na namin lalagay sa museum. Gawa kami ng parang museum.
Sa taas ng Great Buddha.
Sa taas. Galing!
Yeah. I told you, it's my favorite spot.
Tapos, yung dun sa baba, yung kung saan siya dati before, nagpagawa tayo ng medyo mas modern na, pero that's the same 3 Chinese words na nakalagay doon. And the same font na ginamit before, pinatrace natin.
I will watch out for that the next time
Same.
na bumisita ako. Now, let's talk about yung tikoy mismo, no? Kasi nga, Chinese New Year. So, ito yung season na naglalabasan ng tikoy. And then, para sa ating mga nanang, mga Chinoy, tinatanong tayo ng ating mga non-Chinoy friends or coworkers, may tikoy ka ba sa bahay? And I mean, to ask you...
Ang madalas sabihin, di ba? Kong hey, Pacho, pangiti ko.
Yes, yes. So, ikaw, do you get asked that knowing na you are with Engbitin?
Yeah, a lot. And
How does that feel?
Well, it's normal, di ba? Parang, that's... Kumbaga, pag sinasabi mong Chinese New Year, dapat may tikoy.
May tikoy.
Diba?
Ano yung pag Chinese New Year, lahat titingin kay Jeric?
Hindi naman. Well, alam mo bakit ba mahilig? I'm sure you know this in one way or another kung bakit gustong-gusto ng mga Chinese before yung tikoy. It's because of what it symbolizes.
Right.
Diba?
Togetherness.
Togetherness, sweetness, yung walang kanto so wala kang problema, diba? yung hogis pera. Alam mo naman Chinese, diba?
Right.
And normally, sa atin sa Chinese traditions and Chinese beliefs, it's normally during Chinese New Year's, parang sinasabi nila, gawin mo yung gusto mong i-enhance or gano'n. So, kung bakit bilog, di ba, hugis pera para mas maraming pasok.
Yes,
diba?
yes.
Yeah.
Wala kang problema kasi walang kanto. Pangalawa, yung pagiging sweet, no? So, you're sweet to each other the whole year round and you have a sweeter life ahead. And yung pagiging malagkit, so at least dumidikit yung swerte and also signify yung closer family ties.
Right.
Which we always want.
Na parang na-extend na rin sa mga katrabaho natin, mga kaibigan natin, kaya nahingi ng tikoy or nabigay ng tikoy sa iba, di ba?
I'm curious, so I'm just gonna put this in. Kasi kami, sa comics namin, with said, we actually make tikoy jokes every year.
Lalo na pag Chinese New Year.
Oo, lalo na pag Chinese New Year, hindi talaga nawawala yan. So I'm curious, ano sinasabi mo sa mga tao na imposible na wala kang tikoy eh. Di ba? Parang, how do you respond to that? Ano yung usually sinasagot mo?
Sabi ko, punta ka na lang sa tindahan, bigyan ka
Bigyan,
ng
bigyan, hindi bili ah. Bigyan.
Hindi mo binibentahan.
Syempre, di ba, normally, mga kaibigan mo, bigyan mo.
Alright.
Okay.
But what do you think
Wala
of...
namang masama. It's just, kumbaga, alam mo ba ang story ng tikoy before kung bakit din siya symbol of bounty?
No, do tell.
No.
Kasi nung unang panahon, di ba, wala naman tayong mga ref, wala tayong ways of preserving. So one way of preserving it is lutuin mo siya, gawin mo siyang tikoy kasi matamis siya, hindi siya masisira agad.
Right.
So kumbaga, kumbaga instead na masira yung mga malagkit, ginawa mong ganyan as a way to preserve. Ibig sabihin, kumbaga it means bounty, diba? Bountiful.
Okay.
So kumbaga it's like sharing your blessings din in a way.
Right, which goes back to yung mantra ninyo na do good deeds, 'di ba? What do you think of the stereotype, Jeric, na pag Chinoy ka, lagi kang may tikoy on hand? Kasi 'di ba tayo mga nanang, lagi tayong tinatanong during this time of the year.
Hindi naman laging on hand, no. Pero most likely, most of the time I think siguro mga more than 90% ng Chinese na talaga namimigay ng tikoy.
Yeah, yun din ituro sa akin eh. Like, nung una, very resistant ako, lalo na at work na magbibigay ng tikoy. For me, parang, ba't ako gagastos, diba? Ba't ko sila lahat bibigay ng tikoy? But then over the years, and hearing the story coming from you, it's clearer to me now. So, I kind of get that.
Naalala ko sa high school, ito yung parang, since Chinoy school din, Chinese school, every single Chinese New Year, parang hindi ko alam bakit na required bigla lahat ng students magbigay ng tikoy. So when the teacher goes out of the classroom, ang dami niyang tikoy na hindi niya alam anong gagawin. Sorry, funny lang. Naalala ko lang right now.
No. I remember those stories also. Sa Chiang Kai-shek, may ganun din ba?
Yeah, meron din. Actually, I think in all Chinese schools, parang normal na nagbibigay na, di ba? Minsan, para maalala ako ng teacher.
Pampadulas.
So I'm sure meron ka rin.
Medyo mahirap, gano'n.
Meron ka rin. I'm sure binibigyan.
Ako talaga namimigay ako. Hindi naman ako nagka-problema sa grades.
Out of character din, di ba? If the family that owned Eng Bitin did not have tikoy to give during this time of the year. So, we talked about yung history ng tikoy and yung symbolism niya. But for you, ano yung role ng food in integrating yung culture natin as Chinese Filipinos into the larger Filipino culture?
Kung mapapansin ninyo, almost lahat ng food natin, ng Chinese food, it's one way or another being kumbaga assimilated into the Filipino culture din eh. Pansinin mo. For example, yung hopya. Magandang example. Hopya before used to be munggo and baboy, right?
Yeah.
Then we started out with ube. Ube is a Filipino, kumbaga Filipino delicacy.
Filipino crop, yeah.
Ngayon, we even have the newest, kalalabas lang. Yung newest natin is yung sisig na hopya.
Which has gone viral on social media. Like when I told my friends we were going to interview you, they were like, ask him about the hopya sisig.
Yeah. Kasi ano yan eh, ang point lang dito is, kumbaga, ang Eng Bitin, we're known for being innovative. Every time na pumunta ka yun ang goal namin. Every time na pumunta ka sa Eng Bitin, dapat meron kang bagong makikita. Meron kang bagong gugustuhin. Meron kang bagong mamahalin.
Saan nanggaling yun, yung philosophy na yun?
Well, isa sa namin is ayaw namin na nagsasawa yung customers. Diba? So at least pag pumunta ka, ang Eng Bitin, we're known for 3 things. Unang-una, we're high quality. No? Pangalawa is we're sulit. Pangatlo is we're innovative. So, kailangan yan yung laging nasa ano namin. Alam, di ba yung Chinoy, sinasabi natin, hindi na baling konti ang kita. Basta, kahit patak-patak lang yan, makakapuno rin. At least, babalik-balikan ka sulit eh. So, ganun din yung inaano natin. We use the best possible ingredients sa products natin. Kaya, I'm very confident to say na talagang masarap siya.
So, I want to dig into yung mga out-of-the-box and innovative flavors that you mentioned. No? Over the years, laging hinihintay ng mga tao yung bagong flavors ng Eng Bitin. Is there a favorite from all of the new zany flavors you've launched?
Actually, halos lahat yan. Lahat naman yan bago lumabas. Kailangan talaga, ano yan, tinatry namin. Bago pa yan lumabas. Actually, itong, anong tawag dito, yung sisig na yan, nilabas namin yan first. Hindi naman this time lang eh. Nilabas namin yan last year, July, during National Hopya Day.
Okay.
It was the first ever na gumawa ng isang National Hopya Day. Bakit kami gumawa ng ganun? Kasi, did you know that there's a donut day, right?
I mean, now there's like a day for everything.
Yeah, there's a day for everything, diba? But then there's no day for Hopya. And for us, Hopya is not Chinese anymore. It's actually very, very, very Filipino na. Yung hopya, pag sinabi mong hopya sa China, wala naman silang hopya eh.
Yeah.
Meron silang product similar to hopya, but they don't call it hopya.
Right.
And then it's still like very simple na munggo. And yan, nagkakaroon na sila ng ube, right? But then, yung innovations talaga, yung the way that the Philippines shape yung hopya, well, through us din naman, is very different. Ang dami nating variety na talagang very, very Filipino.
Now, curious ako, Jeric. Sabi mo yung National Hopya Day, no? Did the other brands na gumagawa ng hopya, did they hop onto that trend too?
They did. So when we announced it, during the day itself, nagkaroon din sila ng sales.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay naman yung relationship between all these other companies.
Yeah, actually, we're doing this for the industry naman eh. Diba? We didn't say it's an Eng Bitin Hopya Day. It's actually, we call it the National Hopya Day because we wanted a day for yung hopya, diba? A very Filipino product that doesn't have its own day yet.
Galing. I like that. Kasi napaka-inclusive niya eh. Diba? Hindi lang kayo, you're not just celebrating Eng Bitin, you're celebrating the food itself which has given you so many blessings over the years and then yung industriya din.
And kahit naman normally when I go on interviews, I don't promote Eng Bitin per se. I always try to promote yung Binondo. Diba? Did you know that Binondo is the oldest Chinatown in the world?
Yes.
Yeah, diba? So, sa richness ng history ng Binondo, yung culture doon, which is very different. Pag tawid mo pala ng isang bridge, when you tinawid mo yung Jones Bridge, ibang-iba na yung feeling eh. Diba? So, gusto ko ma-share din yun sa mga ibang tao na, pag may oras kayo, punta kayo ng Binondo, iba yung feeling doon, iba yung ma-experience mo yung true Binondo experience, especially during Chinese New Year.
Jerry, we want to get to know you better, like as the individual, because we've spent quite a bit of time talking about the hopya, the history, and then the company. But ikaw, paano ka nagsimula to be part of yung operation side? Like, is this something you've always wanted nung bata ka pa?
Ewan ko sa inyo, pero sa amin kasi dati, pagkatapos ng school, meron kaming kotiam.
Yes.
Okay, so magbabantay ng tindahan.
Magbabantay ng tindahan. So, it's a way, siguro, hindi kami pinilit Kaming tatlong magkakapatid, hindi kami pinilit to be in the business. But then, over the years na brainwash siguro kami. Ang galing. Kaya sabi ko, ang galing ng father ko. Gagayahin ko yun.
Actually, ano bang ginagawa niya to condition your mind na...
As in, bata pa lang kami. Ginawa niya parang playground yung tindahan. Umabot sa point na, biruin mo, bata, nagkakaha. Diba? Although syempre may taong nagbabantay, diba? Nung yung cashier, pero kami pumipindot. Minsan tatanungin pa kami tatanungin yung staff namin before nung customer, uy, double check mo, baka mali na yung pinipindot niya. Diba?
Ito yata yung comics namin na linagay namin na paano mo alam kung legit Chinese may-ari? Nung restaurant or nung establishment, basta may bata daw sa cashier. Legit daw yun.
Kasi anak na may-ari.
Anak na may-ari.
So aside from that, ganun din, alam mo, di ba yung Eng Bitin ng mga kopya, ano yan eh, dinidisplay, ganun. So inaayos namin yung display dun sa racks. So, alam mo,
visual merchandiser ka na, bata ka pa,
diba? So it came to a point na parang naging routine mo na yun, nagustuhan mo rin yung ginagawa mo. Pag bata ka, hindi siya work eh.
Hindi ba kayo nagrebelde na parang grabe, sawa na ako sa Engbitin, sawa na ako sa Purple, sa
Isa
Opia.
pa, may tanong ako, meron bang salary? Kasi dati, kunyari kami, nagbantay kami ng office or whatever, merong parang allowance. 150, ganun.
Well, nung bata kami, wala.
Wala.
Ganun,
So, free labor?
Free labor. Cheap labor, di ba?
Cheap labor, yes.
So, ganun lang kasi dati talaga para siyang laro eh. Like, paayusin yung ganyan, ayusin mo, di ba? Parang accomplishment eh. But then, dahil nga dun, alam mo yun, naka-interact mo yung mga staff, yung mga customers mo. May mga ibang customers kami, lalo yung mga matanda, sabihin, alam mo dati, ikaw maliit ka pa, nakakasama na kita dito sa store ninyo, ganon. Diba? So, alam mo yun, it's very fun it's very fun to know na meron pala kayong mga customers who've been with us for like 30 years, 20 plus years, diba? So, ngayon hindi kami pinilit, pero kami mismo natuwa dahil sa nagustuhan namin at minahal rin namin yung brand, yung negosyo. Kumbaga willing kami na i-devote din yung oras at yung buhay namin towards the brand.
What course did you take up in college? Kasi to handle yung operation side and to innovate these flavors, dapat may background ka in food tech, diba? Kahit paano?
Ako, marketing management. Tapos yung brother ko, food tech. Then yung sister ko, sa Ateneo siya, management honors.
So, were these courses dictated by the business or in-influence ng parents nyo?
Hindi naman. To be fair, kaya sabi ko ang galing no? Hindi kami pinilit, pero since nalaman namin na parang, uy, fun naman to. Mukhang magagamit natin.
Kumbaga na-massage na yung idea while you were young.
Anong tawag doon? Na-marinate.
Na-marinate.
So, go back to the food.
Tawag doon? During the time na mamimili ka ng course, uy, naka-ano na yan, ingrained na yan. Pero, yun nga, ang maganda lang rin sa family namin, sa father ko, during the time na nung pumasok ako, he stepped back. So, binigyan niya kami ng opportunity na grow it how you like, di ba?
Yeah.
Nandito ako to support you, pero you make your own mistakes. Hindi siya yung sabihin mo na, hindi, dapat sumunod kayo sa akin. During the time na pumasok ako, yung ako pa lang nag-step back na siya.
Have you ever asked him kung mahirap ba para sa kanya na mag-step back?
Oh yeah. Lagi niya sinasabi yun. Sabihin niya, alam mo, ang hirap-hirap na walang ginagawa.
Is he effectively retired?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pero lalo na kung isipin mo siya, very ano siya eh. Yung pagkatao niya, very, very dynamic, so, yung wala siya masyadong ginagawa. Ngayon, ang more on ginagawa niya is ano siya, yung volunteer work pa rin namin.
Yeah.
And ngayon siya, apostolic. Alam mo yung apostolic?
So, church-related?
Hindi, tagabantay ng apo.
So, the next
TIL
generation.
So, may 5th generation na kami. Actually, pinost nga niya yun recently. Yung daughter ko kasi mahilig din mag-ayos-ayos ng gamit. So,
Ala, yan na.
dumaan siya ng tindahan. Sabi ni Papa, uy, tuwan-tuwa siya kasi kinuna ng wife ko. Kasi nasa office ako, hindi ko nakita. Kinuna ng wife ko, sinend niya dun sa family na group chat. Maya-maya nagulat ako, nakapost na sa wall ni Papa. Sabi niya, 5th generation of NBT now working.
Ang galing.
Yeah. Actually, I'm curious also, like, does he still actually, for example, naghihingi pa rin kayo ng opinion from him? Let's say you've launched this new sisig flavor. Nagtatanong pa rin kayo sa kanya? Or more of like, what do you think about this? Or
From
parang
time
step
to
back
time,
talaga?
from time to time, minsan may guidance pa rin siya, di ba? Pero hindi siya yung sabihin mong everyday na kailangan mong idaan yung decisions sa kanya. As in talagang, yun ang maganda sa kanya. He lets us do whatever we want.
Where do you think nakuha niya yung ganong klaseng mentality na mag-step back? Kasi normally, di ba, yung mga elder generation,
Yes.
They still want to,
very tight grip pa rin.
Yung father ko, unang-una, diba, sabi ko, siya nga yung innovative eh. Tsaka very, paano mo sabihin? Makabago siya. Very
Progressive.
modern.
Yeah.
Progressive, yeah.
Yeah.
Nakita niya na maraming mga negosyo na nawawalan ng gana yung next generation kasi nagka-clash sila nung previous generation tsaka yung next generation.
Right.
Up to a point na ayoko pumasok dyan. Diba? And meron naman siya makakilala rin na kumbaga yung patriarch is nasa 80 plus na ayaw pa rin mag-let go. Gusto lahat
Dadaan pa rin sa kanya.
sa kanya yung mga anak niya 50s, gano'n, hindi pa rin makapag-desisyon.
Oo.
So, nakita niya yung ganun.
Oo. I was gonna add in yung, I'm pretty sure you've heard of this, yung wealth does not last
Three
generations. And it's amazing na yung sa inyo, natutuloy pa rin now, 4th generation. And sabi rin nga ng dad mo, papunta ng 5th. So it's great to see that. And ano rin, looping into the next question, paano mo naisip tong mga flavors na to? Since your dad thought of ube, there's like sisig right now. I see there's durian, may mga melon. How did you think of this?
Meron tayong mga custard, mga ganun.
Yeah.
May pork floss tayo, diba? Well, ano yan eh. Titingnan din namin, we normally go abroad, diba? We get ideas. Ano ba yung nag-work sa kanila na wala dun sa Philippines? Or ano ba tingin yung we have like discussions among us na ano bang masarap na wala pa tayo?
Yes.
Parang ganun. And then we try to make, kasi ang maganda sa amin, very hands-on. So pati yung brother ko talagang nag-formulate kami mismo ng mga products, no?
So may lab kayo where you guys make the magic happen.
So gagawin titikman, papatry sa ibang tao kung okay yung feedback. Pwede tayo gumawa ng...
So pwede mag-sign na para maging part ng focus group.
Ako gusto ko rin yan.
Kontakin ko kayo.
Yay!
So you guys do that sa inyo
Yeah.
magkakapatid. Has there ever been a flavor na you guys really wanted to try out and for whatever reason you could not get it off the ground?
Meron, hindi naman kasi lahat naglalast, no? Parang merong iba, nilabas mo. We also do retire some flavors din, diba? But then, hindi mo alam, like, merong ibang items kami na, dati hindi nag-work. Ngayon, gusto ng mga tao.
Like what?
Ano ba yung mga sample nun?
Yung mga nasa back burner.
Yung ano ba yun? For example, yung ube queso. Before, hindi naman siya masyadong pinapansin eh. Pero diba nag-hit yung ube cheese? Bigla nagulat kami. Sabi, lakas bigla ng ube queso. Pero we've been at it, like, yung ube queso natin has been there for more than 20 years. Eh. Diba? So, minsan timing eh. Alam mo yun, yung it's not yet their time, pero ano pala. Diba? So, meron tayong mga ganong products na
parang raw pa lang siya.
hindi pa siya hinog. So, meron din tayong mga products ngayon na kumbaga naka-ready lang just in case na pwede nating ilabas to. Parang gano'n.
So, nasa bangko.
So, like, meron kami before yung mochaccino, hopya mochaccino.
Oh, I remember this.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yun natikman ko na talaga.
Natikman mo. Ako nakita ko lang.
Nailabas namin yun before. But then, for some reason, dati hindi naman mahilig magkape yung mga tao masyado eh. So, ginawa namin, ni-retire namin yung product. But it's going to make a comeback. Kasi nakita namin
I love it.
You know where to go.
Nakita namin na, grabe ngayon, ang daming nagkakape. As in,
May kape na rin si Great Buddha. May kape na rin sa Chunky.
yeah. Diba? So, sabi namin, dapat buhay ito eh. So, it doesn't mean na it doesn't work now or it didn't work before, it won't work now. Diba? Parang ganun.
I think I'm also curious since like there's a lot of like crazy flavors, some newer flavors that you have. Balak nyo ba mag-expand like, globally to like other countries, mga flavors in other countries since you already have a lot of branches here?
We actually do exports. I think we're at 18 countries now.
Wow.
Kung hindi naman sobrang, we don't have our own stores there, but we have like Asian
Consignment.
markets and Filipino stores that sell Eng Bitin products. So, US, Middle East, actually, yung dami.
And
Saan merong Pinoy na naghahanap ng Eng Bitin?
And is it still ube hopya yung pinakamabenta or is there like another flavor kind of taking its place?
Well, hindi naman mawawala siguro yung ube tsaka yung munggo kasi that's like the standard. But we have like several mga sa export. Meron tayong alam mo yung are you familiar with yung custard series? No?
Yes.
Yeah. So, if you don't know kasi yung sa hopya pag sa ibang bansa, it's normally frozen. Hindi siya yung katulad sa atin nakalagay sa shelf.
Oh, ready to eat.
So, gumawa tayo ng custard in mind na pwedeng maganda siya for export market and for kids. Kasi tayo, hopefully kasama pa tayo doon before. Kumbaga parang something different. Diba? Kasi normally ang hopya pag kinain mo dapat mainit eh. This one naman, you get it from the ref, you thaw it a little bit like 5 to 10 minutes. Malamig siya, you eat it. So we have 3 flavors of that. One is yung custard classic, which is very much like leche flan.
Yes.
Yung custard ube, which is very similar taste to ube ice cream. And the third one is yung buko custard, which is like very, very, very similar to buko pie.
Buko pie.
Kaya yun yung mga tumatakbo rin naman sa ibang bansa. Kasi sabi niya, uy, ano to kakaiba kasi you just have to thaw. Normally kasi sa ginagawa nila, iniinit nila eh. Ito, thaw mo lang, kainin mo. Tapos very reminiscent pa of Filipino flavors.
Right. You speak about the hopya and the business with so much passion and so much joy. And I want to ask, at the risk of sounding silly, what makes this all fun for you?
Siguro, if you love what you do, it's not work. Diba? Well, hindi mo naman sabihin na all the time na ganito ako diba? Minsan merong times na nakakapagod din, gano'n. But then like, talking about the business, kung ano yung, we love it. Parang gano'n.
Mm-hmm. So, si Kim actually wants to talk about yung pagiging legacy brand ninyo. No? What does that mean to you? Kasi 4 generations, over 113 years, diba? What does that mean to you and your siblings?
Well, it means it's a very big responsibility for us. Diba? Ang ano nga namin, kumbaga we're stewards of this. We're doing this so that the next generation can be the next ones to bring the flag of Engbitin, parang ganun. So dapat we're going to do everything na to make Engbitin last maybe another 100 years, diba?
Mm-hmm. Syempre, during this time of the year, Lunar New Year or Chinese New Year, people think of the brand. People think of Engbitin. What do you think about that? What does that mean to you na very associated na ang brand ninyo dito sa holiday na to?
Well, we're very thankful, no? And yun din yung reason kung bakit kami we try to come up with new innovative ideas. We always try to make the best possible products na matutuwa yung mga tao, which will make them feel sulit lagi. Mm-hmm. Kasi, alam mo yun, yung gusto namin, babalik-balikan nyo kami. Parang gano'n.
On a larger scale, as we zoom out here, you mentioned yung advocacy ng father mo, which is fire prevention. No? As a brand, ano yung impact ng Engbitin sa larger community? Pwedeng Chinoy community lang, pwedeng yung Filipino community at large.
Anong impact ng Engbitin? I think kami lagi rin namin sinasabi, aside from yung doing good deeds, isang lagi namin pinopromote is yung family. Diba? Dapat meron kayong oras for your family, ganun. Kaya lagi namin sinasabi, every Sunday is a family day. Parang ganun. Diba? At least you have one day you spend with your family a week.
As we begin to wind down here, during Chinese New Year, diba ang batian natin kung si Fa Cai, diba? Or as Ronnie
Chinese
Cheng. Yeah. Or Kyung Hee Wat Cai, diba? Kung Hee Fa Choi. Si Ronnie Cheng, the comedian, diba? He made a joke out of it. Sabi niya, hope you get rich kasi yun naman talaga yung meaning.
It is.
Diba?
It's congratulations and I'm wishing you prosperity.
Right. So, to you, what is the definition of rich?
Rich can be like a lot of things, diba? Rich pwedeng mayaman ka sa pera, pwedeng mayaman ka sa kaibigan, diba? Which is, I think, more important. Diba? If you have lots of friends with you, kahit di ka sobrang yaman, you're going to have fun with your life and you're not gonna feel lonely. Merong tutulong sa'yo anytime you need help, diba?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Engbitin is pretty much a rags to riches story. So, my question is right now is, how do you get rich? Like, not monetary. Pwede naman yan rich in legacy, rich in impact, rich in family. How do you do that?
Well, tayo we always, paano mo sabihin? Yung core pa rin natin is doing good deeds. Diba? Yun pa rin, kahit anong namin, laging yun. And don't expect anything in return. Diba? Parang pag tumulong ka, tulong mo yan, hindi dahil, oy, next time, pag kailangan ko, tulungan mo ako. Tulong ko yan dahil gusto kong tumulong sa'yo. But then people realize din naman, kumbaga, if you help them, one way or another, diba? Even if you don't expect, people will, kumbaga, support you in other ways.
Mm-hmm. Last couple of questions here. The color purple, very special to your family, diba? Very synonymous with your brand. Ikaw, do you have a particular relationship with the color purple because of the ube? Or to you, is it, it's the uniform, it's the brand?
Hindi naman, kasi kahit off duty ako, yung wardrobe ko, pag binuksan mo, puro violet.
Parang di ba, si Steve Jobs yun, pagbukas niya black. Pero kay Jeric, pagbukas niya purple.
Nung kinasal ka ba, purple din ba yung suit mo?
Hindi eh. Actually, gusto ko magpagawa ng purple na
something.
Hindi yung purple na, ano tawag doon?
Blazer.
Na Americana. Ayaw eh. Sabi sa akin nung gumagawa, sir, pwede lang yan sa mga payat.
Ala. No. We know a guy, Cedric. He's right outside. We'll help you find a tailor who can actually make that happen.
I actually have a purple blazer.
Oh, you do?
Full set. Actually, dapat yun pala sinuot ko today. Sabi ko kasi Chinese New Year, sige magre-red ako. Dapat yun pala sinuot ko. Kita mo, Jeric. Okay lang.
Last question na pakwela. 7 days in a week. Is there a day in a week na hindi ka kumakain ng Eng Bitin food?
Mahirap yan ah. Parang wala.
So every day.
In a way. Kasi parang pag nag-office ako, automatic yan yung food namin like manggagaling sa either sa one of our restaurants, diba? Pag nasa bahay, minsan meron kaming, pag yung mga gumagawa kami ng mga iba-ibang produkto, meron sa bahay lagi, Ito yung mga bago nating, So,
you can't run from it.
Can't run away from it. siguro pag nasa abroad ako.
You just have to accept your fate.
No, I love it. I mean, that's the
I would
dream,
take
diba?
that. I would take that.
Masarap naman eh.
Yes.
One day, mag-field trip tayo sa commissary ng
Sure.
Eng Bitin.
You're welcome.
So we just tried yung hopia sisig that's gone viral from Eng Bitin. Jeric, thank you so much. Buti na still have a few minutes to spend with us. We want to ask you how you came up with such a delicious new brand that is also viral now na pinag-uusapan ng lahat.
Alam niyo yung hopia sisig kasi, that was one of the products that we came up for National Hopia Day last year. So nung nilabas namin yung National Hopia Day, sabi ko, dapat we should come up with like 5 new products na matitikman ng mga tao, di ba? Parang something new for them to try, kaya nga National Hopia Day. So nagkukulang kami, tapos parang sabi ko, parang walang masyadong something na kumaga will hit, di ba?
Yeah.
Hanggang sa merong nagsabi sa amin, as a joke na, sisig kaya? I think it was my sister, sabi niya. Sisig kaya? Sabi ng brother ko, sisig, may baboy yun, gano'n, ang hirap. So sabi namin, hindi, sige, subukan natin. Ayun. So far, nung after that, nung sinubukan namin, turned out dun sa National Hopia Day, Hopia Sisig was actually voted number 1 dun sa mga new flavors.
And now it's really gone viral. Everyone wants to get a taste of the Hopia Sisig. What are the early reviews? Like right before Chinese New Year?
Nung nilabas natin to, sabi ng iba, uy, kakaiba siya, no? Yung iba naman sabi, uy, para siyang siopaw. May meat, diba?
Yes.
So, okay naman. We're having fun with the product. Masaya naman. We're very satisfied naman with how it goes.
So mag-iingat tayo when we're around the Eng Bitin group. Kasi yung joke natin, baka mamaya bagong flavor na pa.
Lalabas na yung mga ganyan na flavors next year.
Anything else that you want to ask him on your end?
No, actually, pretty much it was a action-packed episode na ang dami talagang na-cover ni Jeric na nasagot na rin naman niya talaga. So, I'm actually good. It was exciting Chinese New Year.
Yeah, sobrang makulay yung panimulaan natin for this season. Jeric, thank you so much for joining us here. For our listeners and our viewers who want to know more about Eng Bitin and your different restaurants and stores, where can they connect with you guys?
Well, you can find us on Facebook. And of course, I'm inviting, I always do this, please come and visit us in Binondo. Our flagship store is 628 Ongpin Street, Binondo, Manila. And nandun na yun, malapit na lang lahat yan. If you wanna go to the Great Buddha, akit ka lang second floor. You wanna go to Chuan Ki, it's like 1 minute.
Kung nasa ni Pila. Yun na yun.
Nasa ni Pila. So, and hindi lang naman Eng Bitin group yung kailangan nyo puntahan doon. There's really a lot to explore in Binondo.
Oh, ang nice siguro no kung itahi yung old clip ni daddy mo. Tsaka yung sinabi mo ngayon, no? Parang wow, it would be a very good documentary. But you know what? Just to wrap this all up rin, no? Thank you so much, Jeric, for taking a chance. Hindi na ako nagmukhang scammer nung message kita kasi hindi naman talaga tayo magkilala. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time
Thank you, Ren.
gawin tong episode.
Thank you for having us, and Kyung Hee Huatsai.
Kyung Hee Huatsai. And we have to mention before we wrap things up, nagdala si Jeric ng 1 big box of Eng Bitin delicacies that we're all sharing among ourselves dito sa The Pod Network. So, to siya talaga for everything.
Thank you. Sana ma-enjoy nyo andyan yung mga bago nating mga products.
Oh, we definitely
Okay.
will. And as we wrap up this episode, please follow the show. It is at Now Steaming Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Individually, I'm at _Stancy.
And for me, it's at Kimberly Mass. For Cedric, if you want to follow him, he's not on the show right now, still feeling under the weather. It's at Cedric C. Cheng. And for both of us, you can follow our works. Pretty sure you guys know it already. I've been mentioning every time at So Asian Comics. So yeah.
Maraming salamat, of course, to the Pod Network for everything they do behind the scenes to put these episodes together. And thank you for catching another episode of Now Steaming. Thanks again to Jeric Chua and Eng Bitin for being a huge part of this episode. And as we close, we just gotta remind everyone na kahit Chinese New Year, hindi lahat ng Chinoy.
May tikoy.
Thank you for listening to Now Steaming. Now Steaming is hosted by Stan C, Kimberly Mas, and Cedric Cheng. Ronel Cheng is our writer and researcher. Our show is produced, mixed, edited, and mastered by the Pod Network.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.